Welcome to NTN Nightly. I am Janelle Novell. This edition's top stories. Saint Lucia to be showcased at Expo 2020 Dubai. The Parliament of Saint Lucia approves amendments to the COVID-19 Prevention and Control Act. And the Consumer Affairs Department urges vigilance when purchasing goods for resale. World Expos for almost 2 centuries have provided a platform to showcase the greatest innovations that have shaped the world we live in today. Expo 2020 will continue that tradition with the latest technology the world over. Saint Lucia's participation at Expo 2020 Dubai is poised to showcase the island's accommodating landscape for tourism, investment and trade to the millions of visitors expected to attend the event, which will be held from the 1st of October 2021 to the 31st of March 2022. Hamadi Mark reports.
Expo 2020 Dubai provides the ultimate platform for networking and international exposure for over 190 participating countries. Participants have the unique opportunity to display the best their country has to offer. The showcases are being held under 3 districts: sustainability, mobility, and opportunity. Saint Lucia's participation will be under the Opportunity District. Export Saint Lucia, in collaboration with Invest Saint Lucia, the Citizenship by Investment Program, and the Saint Lucia Tourism Authority have been working tirelessly to fully capitalize on the opportunity. Sunita Daniel is Export Saint Lucia's Chief Executive Officer.
I think Saint Lucia has a great product, and not only what our manufacturers do, but also the product that is Saint Lucia. In terms of CIP, we have one of the stronger CIP programs in the Caribbean. In terms of our beauty and our tourism products, we have an excellent tourism product, and we're hoping that that product we will be able to expose all visitors who pass through our pavilion. They will be exposed to our tourism product, the sulfur springs, the beach, the forest. We have a huge diversity of events that they can come to. And in terms of investment, just one investment, one alone, covers the cost of the entire participation in Dubai.
Saint Lucia's theme for Expo 2020 Dubai is creating new opportunities to inspire the world. Let her inspire you. Minister for Tourism, Investment, Creative Industries, Culture and Information, Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire, says Saint Lucia's participation in the Expo is the perfect opportunity to attract new tourism markets.
We don't have many visitors from MENA, Middle East and North Africa. So it is an opportunity for us for 6 months to promote Saint Lucia to a new market and to be able to attract them to come to Saint Lucia for weddings, for conferences and other incentives that incentive groups will participate in, for diving. So really it is a tremendous opportunity. We've never had an opportunity like this to actually go into a new source market over such a prolonged period of time and to be able to get new business. So for us it's fantastic and we're excited about it.
In addition to tourism and investment opportunities for the island, the Expo also provides local manufacturers an opportunity to attain international recognition. Minister for Commerce, Manufacturing, Business Development, Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, says the Ministry of Commerce is working to ensure the interest obtained from the Expo is translated into sustainable business.
What is important is that we are ready, that after we get the interest and we conclude orders, that we have the ability to keep these orders, to supply these orders, and to do it at the right standard. And that is why I think it is important to inform Saint Lucians that within the Ministry of Commerce we have the Bureau of Standards, and that is their role, to work with the manufacturer, large and small, to ensure that we keep international standards.
Expo 2020 Dubai is scheduled from October 1, 2021 to March 31, 2022 under the theme Connecting Minds, Creating the Future. From the Government Information Service, Hilmadi Mark reporting.
And as Saint Lucia is currently experiencing its 4th wave of COVID-19, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs continues to manage the increase in COVID-19 cases. From July 25, 2021, there have been a total of 3,621 confirmed positive cases of COVID-19 at an average of 86 cases per day. During this period, the ministry also noted 24 COVID-19 deaths at a case fatality rate of 0.7% with an average age of 66 years. The daily infection rate for the past week was 82 per 100,000 per day, with an average of 148.7 cases per day. 52% are in the age group of 25 to 49 years. 58% of the cases are female, with majority of the cases being from the Castries, Grozile, Babono and Denbury districts. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George indicated that based on contact tracing data, the majority of the cases diagnosed are related to social activities.
At this stage of the outbreak, we also note increasing cases at workplaces and spread between families. We have not yet peaked, and we continue to note increases from the past week and increases in deaths. To date, from the positive cases diagnosed in country, less than 2% have been fully vaccinated. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs continues to work to strengthen the public health system to continue managing the increased COVID-19 cases. Later today, an intense review of the response to this COVID-19 wave is scheduled to further improve on the management of this situation. This will serve to ensure sustainable measures are in place and improve gaps that have been reported. We continue to ask the public to work with us and exhibit responsible behavior to manage this fourth wave. The enforcement agency continues to report numerous breaches of social activities, even during the periods of full lockdown.
The Chief Medical Officer called on members of the public to take personal responsibility for their safety and that of their families. She urged the public to work with the ministry and to exhibit responsible behavior to manage this fourth wave. The enforcement agency continues to report numerous breaches of social activities even during the periods of full lockdown. Dr. Belmar George encouraged everyone to take personal responsibility to keep themselves and their families safe.
At present, we continue to have available the Pfizer and the AstraZeneca vaccine free of charge in country at the various wellness centers. Vaccination remains the most effective public health measure in managing infectious diseases. These vaccines have been proven to be safe and effective in protecting persons from developing COVID-19, its severe forms, complications, hospitalizations, and death. We continue to urge the public to access the various sites to get immunized at the soonest. Encourage your family and friends to get immunized so we can all be protected. With the high level of community spread noted in country at this point, we continue to advise the public to remain vigilant, adhere to the protocols that are put in place to keep us safe. These include regular hand washing, the use of face masks in public places, avoiding crowds and persons with respiratory symptoms, and keeping frequently touched surfaces clean.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George. As Saint Lucia continues efforts towards curbing the spread of COVID-19, the government of Saint Lucia has sought to strengthen the country's response to the pandemic. In that thrust, the Parliament of Saint Lucia recently approved amendments to the COVID-19 Prevention and Control Act. The amendments include a name change from the Command Center to the National COVID-19 Management Center and protocol breaches to be ticketable offenses. Hamadi Mark tells us more.
The COVID-19 Prevention and Control Amendment No. 2 Act received the approval of the House of Assembly on Tuesday, 31st August 2021. The amendments, which allow the enactment of key changes to the COVID-19 management operations in St. Lucia, include the removal of a minister as the head of the COVID-19 management body, protocol breaches to be changed to ticketable offences, and the name change of the Command Center to the National COVID-19 Management Center.
In the Act, the Command Center advises Cabinet on matters relating to COVID-19 and has oversight activities required to reduce or prevent the spread of COVID-19. A command center is generally seen as a place used to provide centralized knowledge for a particular purpose. The name, Mr. Speaker, does not suggest any connection with the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, the bill amends the Act to change the name of the Command Center to the National COVID-19 Management Center. This new nomenclature makes it clear that this body of persons is in Saint Lucia, responsible for administering and supervising the COVID-19 pandemic.
The amendments to the Act also facilitate the addition of representatives from the Trade Union Federation, the private sector, Saint Lucia Medical Dental Association, youth organizations, and other individuals approved by the Cabinet to the COVID-19 decision-making body. Minister for Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, Honorable Moses Jabatis, pointed out that while the pandemic has ravaged the economy and social systems in Saint Lucia, the amendments allow the government to be timely in its COVID-19 response. He highlighted measures enacted by the government to bolster the country's coronavirus prevention campaign. These include the establishment of a new communication system at the Victoria Respiratory Hospital and the supplementation of 12 cell phones and accompanying packages to doctors and nurses.
And as we speak, there are now 8 new medical support staff at Victoria Hospital. Today, they went in today, Mr. Speaker. Before Friday of this week, we are going to have 12 patient welfare assistants at the Victoria Hospital. They'll be trained, and before Friday of this week, this problem with relatives bringing things to the patients and it takes days, it's not the fault of the staff. The doctors are so burdened, they have to tell you their stories. So we need people to bridge that gap and to make the experience better for our people.
The minister added that patient welfare assistants will also be employed at other major medical facilities around the island.
Amidst growing concerns about the retail prices of price-controlled goods, the Consumer Affairs Department advises retailers and wholesalers to be extremely vigilant when buying goods to resell and to ensure that purchases are made from wholesalers or distributors. More in this report.
The Consumer Affairs Department, or CAD, is responding to concerns over the retail prices of controlled goods. The department recommends that retailers and wholesalers should use the correct outlets when purchasing to resell to consumers.
For example, if you own a small retail shop, you need to ensure that you purchase from a wholesaler or distributor. Shop owners need to be mindful that there are businesses who sell in bulk, but they do not engage in wholesaling. Buying in bulk and not at a wholesale price may affect the retail price of a product.
The Consumer Affairs Department is the government agency responsible for approving and monitoring the prices of controlled goods. Ms. Williams-Davy emphasizes that these prices are not to be altered.
The department reminds businesses that in accordance with the Distribution and Price of Goods Act, Cap 1309, that it is an offense to sell any price-controlled good above the price approved by the department. If anyone, whether it be a consumer or supplier of goods, is uncertain about the selling price of a controlled good, that person is encouraged to seek assistance from the department by calling 468-4224/31. Suppliers of price-controlled goods are reminded that all prices must be properly displayed and goods are not sold above the approved prices.
The CAD also informs consumers that it is possible for the prices of price-controlled goods and non-price-controlled goods to fluctuate. These prices are influenced by the price purchased from the overseas supplier, the freight, insurance, duties paid, and the various markups added to the landed costs. Nonetheless, the department reassures the general public that they are committed to protecting the rights of consumers and safeguarding their interests. Marvin St. Louis, reporting from the Ministry of Commerce, Manufacturing, Business Development, Cooperatives, and Consumer Affairs.
The Ministry of Education, Innovation, Science, Technology and Vocational Training for the Curriculum and Materials Development Unit, CAMDU, recently held a National Language Policy Implementation Planning Virtual Conference. The virtual event, which was streamed via the Ministry's YouTube channel, brought together language professionals from across the Caribbean region. Angel Caglin is the curriculum specialist at CAMDU.
We are very grateful that we have been able to get a selection of wonderful resource persons who can, from across the Caribbean, who can give us some idea of what our considerations should be for implementing the language policy, what are some best practices that they have observed, what the research says about implementation of a policy such as this one. So we really are looking forward to hearing from them and putting together our ideas for how our national language policy for Saint Lucia should be implemented.
The discussions focused on a draft policy developed under the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, ELP, based on feedback from a cross-section of the St. Lucian society. Linguist and projects coordinator consultant with the Folk Research Center, Melissa Irving, presenting on the socio-linguistic context for St. Lucia, highlighted that based on research, there is a demand for the Creole language to be taught formally.
For my own data collection, as it was mentioned, I was focusing on the English-based Creole, but I did have the opportunity to kind of move around the country a fair bit and observe from my fieldwork that was mostly in Soufrière and Beaufort, so that's towards the south of the island, mainly working with 13 to 18-year-olds, more towards the higher end of that scale, and up until 2019. From those observations, there was a wide range of different proficiencies amongst the students. Most of them were able to produce at least a couple of sentences. Some were completely fluent, others, the knowledge was mostly passive. The frequently mentioned divide between North and South in terms of proficiency and in terms of frequency of hearing the quill were also apparent. And as a note that's kind of relevant for the language policy is that the students that I spoke to at least were very interested in either learning or maintaining Creole. So those who already spoke it and those who wanted to learn it were very interested in seeing it implemented in the school system.
The ministry in the development of the implementation plan will outline the process of institutionalizing the Creole language in all aspects of the St. Lucian society, including the education system. The ministry indicated that the process requires the input of as many St. Lucians as possible. The virtual event was held on Tuesday, August 31, 2021. This is NTN Nightly. Primus Hutchinson is up next. Stay with us.
In an effort to ensure patient and first responder safety, the St. Lucia Fire Service has reviewed its patient transfer procedures, especially for patients with respiratory distress. Face masks will be provided. At no time during transportation should the face mask be removed. Please be patient and cooperative during this time to ensure you receive the best possible care while keeping our first responders safe.
Welcome back. We join Primus Hutchinson for the NTN Nouvelle Creole.
Monsieur Tan, Janelle, Monsieur, Mesdames, département qui est responsabilité pour information en gouvernement cette ici, ça c'est JS, ensemble avec télévision nationale, NTN, représente nouvelle, représente Primus. Cette ici est capable de participer à une exhibition des affaires commerce et l'autre ça un pays qui a produit et aussi l'autre ça qui a valé à un pays et ça qui a un pays Dubaï. Durant une conférence, et puis les journalistes, mardi, le 16e jour en mois de septembre 2021, après Séraphin, officier Export Center, autorité des affaires touristiques, Invest Saint Lucia, et agence CIP, aussi ministère des Affaires Commerce, profiter de l'occasion là, pour toutes ces agences-là et ces institutions assemblées pour présenter informations concernant le grand développement. Le ministre des Affaires touristiques, cette fois-ci, assez honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire, parlait de Valais, il y a une grande occasion comme ça, pour plusieurs pays à la terre à participer. Le ministre Hilaire fait comprendre l'exposition ça là en Dubaï, c'est un qui a porté l'occasion là pour l'autre grand pays la terre ouais capacité un pays qui a produit des grandes valeurs culture sur les situations économiques et sociales. Donc là il y a ouais exposition Dubaï là pour une grande occasion pour tout petit pays comme ça. Il dit c'est une occasion côté plus que 20 millions de monde en la terre qui a visité Dubaï malgré mauvaise maladie corona. Ministre des Affaires consommateurs, coopératifs, des Affaires commerce, on est vraiment hypocrite. Parler concerné grand développement ça là, avec des gros avantages là, avec ça capoté.
Ça a commencé le 1er octobre et puis pour GIC l'année prochaine, mars l'année prochaine. Ça qui est important, ça a coûté un cher l'argent, le gouvernement de Dubaï. J'ai aidé, ils ont mis plus de 3 millions de dollars à projet et puis le gouvernement Saint Lucia a mis 1,5 million de dollars pour essayer que 4 agencies en Saint Lucia participent. Ça c'est Expo Saint Lucia, ça c'est un ministre commerce côté nous travail et puis nous qui a fait produit Saint Lucia pour garder pour bailler une chance pour montrer la terre qui ça nous a fait en Saint Lucia. Nous aller et puis font un produit pepper sauce. Moun qui a fait peinture, moun qui a fait artiste, toute qualité de musique, différents bagages quoi. Il y a une chance pour participer et puis montrer la terre. Ça c'est ici, ça fait. Et ça y a acheté à ce ici.
Mais le municipalité a conseillé les agences business ici pour développer façon nouveau et pour fixer à ce manière pour toujours avancer capacité et capacité. Conseil exhibition de produits qui ont côté l'autre pays qui est bien intéressé.
Moi, je veux venir et puis aller à Bureau Standards là et commencer à parler à ce qui manière où ça mettait dans un standard international. Moi, je veux venir à ministre commerce et commencer à parler avec nous pour nous regarder qui manière nous ça aider faire business ou primaire, qui manière ça vendre produits. Moi, je veux préparer pour aller à Expo Saint Lucia. Je travaille avec vous. Regardez manière les belles là où il y a ce bouteille là, qui manière vous venez la caille regarder, qui manière on va faire ce jam là on va faire, qui manière nous ça aide pour ça vendre produit là. C'est ici il est important pour nous. C'est là nous commencer à faire ce bagage ça là, l'économie caille pour.
Les résidents en Paris façade toute escasse street. Ça c'est Paris Place Coberson, Mark, Brownlands, La Kwamengo, Colitown, en parmi l'autre. C'est commune, c'est par ça là. Il a trouvé pour mettre qui représentatif là qui fait available. Available pour changer discussion et puis tout en ce temps à venir. Représentatif Parlement pour ce par ça là, on est Joachim Henry, qui aussi c'est ministre qui est responsable pour égalité et justice sociale. Passez un message pour ces communes qui ont représenté. Pour faire ça, déjà fait préparation pour une grande discussion et puis les individus et aussi les résidents en total. Et aussi faire un appel pour les voisinages pour vivre travailler la main.
So, moi, je demande pour une patience, moi, avec vous tous les semaines, mais qui pour justement ouais, tout le monde, moi, je fais ça. So, moi, je dis ni patience avec moi parce que moi j'ai commencé mais si yo pas encore c'est parce que moi pas encore arrivé parce que place la l'âge moi demande yo ni patience on continue prédier avec comme élection a fini encourager si tous ces monde qui étoile là qui gagne voisinage qui a senti quoi yo considérer ça yo de cas supporter à pas passer di yo pour perdre rien. Parce que ça qui là pour Maman Étoile, aussi bien là pour ces Maman Flobois. Parce que c'est une nation nous tenions élection pour choisir moun qui est responsable pour tout le pays, pas pour yon seul. So, c'est là pour nous mettre à terre, on cherche ces divisions, garder qui nous ça venir ensemble pour voyer Castries Southeast devant, pour tout le peuple Castries Southeast.
Quand cette ville Castries, ni on met nouveau. La tenue cérémonie jeudi le 2e septembre 2021 côté les maires nouveaux ensemble puis les officiers consuls là et sermenté. Consul nouveau ça là apporté 11 membres et qui aussi les maires nouveaux c'est Madame Geraldine Lendo Gabriel, assistant le maire, Sandy Flood, aussi Gregory Edward, Yasmin Still, Timothy James, Phyllis Duplessis, Marius Modeste, Chanel McVeigh Fulgens, Mark Hennicat, Alison Ann Tolley, et Beatrice McDonald. Madame le maire, l'imam consit là, qui est responsable pour qui par West Ville Cashpi West a d'ailleurs bon mode et bonne occupation. Ministre qui a responsabilité pour faire le gouvernement local, le bureau premier ministre là, c'est honorable Frederick, qui est à ce même consit neuf. Pour bailler les résidents et commune business, en ces par West Cashpi a bonne représentation et pour toujours faire assurer qui c'est par West là, toujours rester net et propre à toutes les. Madame le maire, Geraldine Lendo Gabriel, défriché plan est mis en place pour soulager les résidents en ces paroisses, aussi les travailleurs qui emploient et puis qu'on cite des villes cachées. Ça veut dire qu'il développer un programme social établi pour protéger la santé des travailleurs qu'on cite là. C'est même qu'on cite là qu'il y a opération pour dès l'année seulement, comme loi consiste là. Et c'est comme ça, non? Pas de nouvelles là, monsieur, madame. Donc, monsieur, regardez. On va avoir une invitation. Je n'ai plus moi considérer conserver la vie. Et on présente pour l'autre nouvelle. Présent, qu'avez-vous présent?
Merci Appeal Primus. We now take a look at the weather.
Sunrise Wednesday, 5:52 a.m. Winds will be blowing from between the east and east-southeast near 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour, becoming lighter at times. The weather is fair to partly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers and possibly isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon, mainly over central and western districts. Seas slight to moderate with waves 3 to 5 feet or 0.9 to 1.5 meters. A weak pressure gradient over our region will continue to generate a light wind regime, causing localized showers and possibly isolated thunderstorms over some of the islands during the forecast period. A tropical wave located several hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles will cause some cloudy periods, with showers over the extreme southern portion of the region during the forecast period. Another tropical wave located over the eastern tropical Atlantic is moving westward near 15 miles per hour or 24 kilometers per hour.
That brings us to the end of NTN Nightly. Join us next time at 7 p.m. with a repeat at 7 a.m. You can also catch up with us anytime on the St. Lucia Government Facebook page or YouTube channel. I am Janelle Norville.